of rapper Sean Diddy Combs' homes were raided in connection to a federal human trafficking investigation. His attorney is now accusing the government of a witch hunt. New TMZ photos show the moment federal agents confronted Diddy at a Miami airport Monday. In the photos is Combs' alleged drug mule, who was arrested on drug charges. The raids come after several assault lawsuits were filed against Combs.
Oh man, we just getting started right now. Wait till you see the rest of this video. If you just tune in and you like videos like this, consider hitting the like button. Definitely subscribe to the channel and also hit the notification bell.
They don't execute these types of search warrants until they have talked to witnesses, have gathered evidence. Not only that, they have to get a federal judge to sign off on the search warrant. So I believe the case against Diddy is very strong. Ultimately, I think Diddy is going to be indicted by a grand jury. Diddy can be looking at a 10 or even 15-year mandatory minimum sentence for even one count of sex.
More money, more problems.
Aubrey quoting Diddy himself in the aftermath, highlighting this making the band moment in her IG story. Old boy said it first. It gets
Dark and lonely.
In response to one lawsuit, had posted, I believe it was on Instagram, "Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear, I did not do," and he goes on to say, did not do this. Now, again, that was in relation to a lot of these lawsuits being filed. But
several homes belonging to rapper and music mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
For some real odd, convenient reason, he had an angel on his shoulder. It seems as if every time something about to go down with Diddy, he's always tipped. He's always a step ahead. He's always ahead of them, you understand? They say he's not bigger than the program. Y'all let me know in the comments, all right?
Raided by federal agents. One of those homes is right here in South Florida.
Local 10's Trent Kelly joins us live with what our camera saw during the raid and the investigation at the center of it all. Trent.
Yeah, that's right, Gio and JC. These coast-to-coast raids happening in the middle of the day yesterday. And as you mentioned, one of those two properties that was searched by federal authorities happens to be right here on Miami Beach's Star Island. The gates of that home you can actually see just behind me here. This all comes as Combs is facing several lawsuits accusing him of assault and sex, among other things. Claims the music megastar so far has denied. Federal agents working well into the night after raiding the Star Island mansion owned by rapper and businessman Sean Diddy Combs. The surprise show of force beginning around noon Monday.
One thing's for certain, everybody jumped on the bandwagon and kept regurgitating the same old wrong news. Everybody kept saying how Diddy escaped. He went to a country with no extradition. People like to assume what's convenient. People love to assume what's convenient for their story, you understand, without doing due diligence. It's impossible a man with all that money is gonna leave based off of some allegations. I look at it like this. I'm not saying whatever he did was right, but whatever was done, I believe it was consensual. Yes, this dude is on a different type of being freaky, which I'm no part of, but hey, different strokes for different folks. But yeah, let's see how this is about to keep playing out.
As Homeland Security investigators carried out a search warrant. Sources say the search was tied to an ongoing investigation into allegations of sex trafficking. Throughout the day, investigators were seen carrying out boxes of potential evidence from inside the multi-million-dollar home, which Combs has owned for years. But that's not all, as agents were also active on the West Coast, searching another house owned by the music mogul in Los Angeles. The raid in Beverly Hills also tied to the same investigation, with armed officers moving in the middle of the day. Combs coming under fire in recent months after becoming the target of several sexual lawsuits. One of the civil suits was filed by his former girlfriend, who says Combs and abused her. That case settled out of court one day after it was filed.
More money, more problems.
We are hearing from Sean Combs Diddy, as we know him. We're hearing from his lawyer. He says that authorities used a gross level of military use force to get inside of his homes during this raid, and he says that his client is innocent and that they will continue to work to clear his name. Now remember, Combs is facing several lawsuits accusing him of assault, but in the latest one, it's filed on behalf of a male producer that worked with Combs, and in it he is accusing Combs of assault, and also a member of the royal family is mentioned, as well as a Hollywood actor, and that actor is accused of misconduct.
Even with that drug mule that they got, right? He's supposed to be an ex-basketball player from Syracuse. I don't think he made it to the NBA or anything like that. He just made it as far as college. That was his drug mule. And guess who snitched on the drug mule? The alleged, let's just say one of his alleged victims. Let's just say it's one of the male alleged victims, the producer. He's actually putting, this so-called producer is dropping names. The drug mule is one of the names that he actually dropped. Listen, they got information. They got something we don't know about they got.
As cars quietly rolled through music mogul Sean Diddy Combs' Star Island property Tuesday, the lawsuits against him are loud and clear. Monday, federal agents raided Combs' homes in Miami and LA in connection with a sexual investigation where belongings of Combs were seized.
They're looking for evidence that would support whether or not an individual or individuals were coerced and had been located at one of these locations, and that there might be some physical evidence supporting the testimony that these witnesses have alleged.
The raid comes a few months after Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, filed a lawsuit accusing him of rape, sex trafficking, and abuse. A case that was settled out of court a day after it was filed. That was the first of the 4 lawsuits filed, the most recent a former producer for Combs, Rodney Little Rod Jones. Jones accusing Combs of harassment. In the lawsuit filed on behalf of Jones, his attorney states that Mr. Combs was known for throwing the best parties.
I'm gonna tell you like this, if you new up and coming in any industry, especially in the entertainment industry, I'm gonna tell you like this, as a man, hey, you need to control your horniness. Your horniness will land you just like this. It will have you drunk in illusion, thinking that you running things, thinking that you the one in control. All it takes is for that one mistake for your whole world to fall down. You understand me? Don't forget. Never forget this right here, right? Just as fast as you can get overnight success is the same speed you can get overnight death. You understand? So with that being said, be on point out here, man. Keep that thing in the pans and keep it to a minimum, all right? Let's go.
And states that the mogul used his connections with famous and powerful individuals to lure people in. Naming Prince Harry as someone who attended his parties. While Prince Harry is only mentioned once and he is not accused of any wrongdoing, actor Cuba Gooding Jr. is named multiple times. The lawsuit alleges that Combs tried to force Gooding Jr. onto Jones in January 2023 while on a yacht rented by Combs. The lawsuit states that Gooding Jr. began touching, groping, and fondling Mr. Jones' legs, his upper inner thighs near his groin, the small of his back near his buttocks, and his shoulders. After Monday's raid, TMZ obtained video of Combs pacing at the Opa-locka Executive Airport Monday. CBS News has also learned Brendan Paul, mentioned in the most recent lawsuit as Combs' drug mule, was arrested at the Opa-locka Airport for suspected cocaine and marijuana candy on Monday.
This right here is the ex-Syracuse basketball players, Brendan Paul, all right? I'm sure he had a little bit of connections and he landed a job, you understand? If you ask me, Diddy probably had him carrying all the work. Listen, if you get caught, this is yours. You're signing up for this, all right? You got that NDA with me. This is yours. This is what you're going to do, and I'm going to pay you a salary for this risk that you're taking real quick, all right? It's light work, light tap. This right here with him, he just need to eat that up. If he talks any further, it's gonna go very bad for Diddy. This is where they talking about the situation when he was booked up. Both charges are considered felonies in Florida. Paul, who has since been bailed out, was named as a mule in the producer Rodney Jones' complaint against Diddy. You see that? Combs has been accused of being involved
TMZ also spotted Combs' private jet in Antigua. So what does this all mean and what could happen next?
They will then utilize a grand jury to present this evidence to the grand jury and seek the return of an indictment if they believe that there's sufficient evidence to show that a crime was committed by an individual or individuals.
You about to pay people off.
And it's important to note that Combs has not been charged with anything up until this point.
There have been rumors like this for years, for
Facts.
decades, about this kind of behavior from him.
A lawsuit from Diddy's
Wendy said
protege,
it.
singer Cassie, alleged he forced her to have sex with male prostitutes while he filmed them.
Hey, yo.
I never even expected this to happen.
The raids reportedly stem from an investigation led by U.S. attorneys in the Southern District of New York.
I would say fairly unusual in this kind of circumstance.
Former federal prosecutor Jennifer Beidel used to work for the Southern District of New York. She says coordinating with other agencies like Homeland Security, not uncommon. However,
to have it be two places that span across the country suggests to me that what they're investigating is something far-reaching that happened over a period of time.
Prosecutors have given no indication that Diddy is in fact a target and he remains a free man. But the Associated Press is reporting the raids are part of a sex traffic probe. They come on the heels of several lawsuits filed late last year that raised allegations of sexual assault and rape against the hip-hop mogul.
It's probably the LA office that did it, the LA SAC office. But yeah, I mean, there's a multitude of reasons, man, why they would raid a house like that. But what I will tell you is this: for them to go ahead and get a search warrant means they got quite a bit of probable cause to search his home, because at the federal level, to get a federal search warrant, it's fairly difficult. You need a lot of probable cause.
Could you break that down for me? Please, like, because again, I shared my personal experience. I said they've executed a search warrant at my place before, and it was the simple premise was, hey, someone came to us saying that a crime got committed, and it said that you had a videotape of said crime, but you weren't willing to give it up, so we got to go get it.
If you made it to this part of the video, consider liking, commenting, sharing, and definitely subscribing to the channel.
And that's it, like, just seeing the text message and hearing that person's story. A judge signed off on it. They came in and got the DVR. They got whatever they needed to, look to see if it happened. Obviously, nothing happened. No charges got brought. But on a federal level, what's actually needed?
So all right, when you get a search warrant through the feds, right, you have to go to a magistrate judge to get one, right? And a magistrate judge, think of it as kind of a lower level judge than a district judge. And a district judge, you'd go to them to get like a Title III, to get your to listen to a phone tap, or whenever someone's getting sentenced and a criminal case is actually proceeding. But to go ahead and get a search warrant, a simple search warrant, you just need a magistrate judge. However, AUSAs are very picky about giving search warrants, because for you to get a search warrant, you have to go through a federal prosecutor to do it, and then the U.S. Attorney's Office files a search warrant on your behalf, right, with the judge, and then you go ahead and you're able to go ahead and execute it. So whenever you have somebody high profile like a Diddy, like R. Kelly, because R. Kelly actually, HSI did the R. Kelly case as well.
Now, for those who's wondering, that's an ex-federal agent that's talking on his experiences being on the field, and how this case is going about and how they came about putting the case together, for those who don't know what's going on. All right.
Anytime you have a high-profile guy and they know that they're going to have the news out there with them doing raids, etc., they're going to make sure that search warrant is airtight. They're going to make sure they have a lot of probable cause. Now, with that said, for them to get a search warrant like this tells me they have multiple informants and sources of information, more than likely. People that are cooperating, giving them information, because for you to be able to get inside of a house, you need actionable info within somewhere between 2 weeks to a month. So that tells me that someone was in the home, saw some stuff that was questionable, contacted the feds, and they're able to go ahead and get that search warrant through a judge, because the search warrant needs to be fresh with information for you to be able to get in, especially when you got somebody high profile like this.
Okay. So again, excuse my ignorance, but because I think a lot of people view the feds as like, we don't even know what they do on a daily. So wait, how would this even be initiated? Like, does someone come to someone's cubicle and be like, hey, I think Diddy's fucking a bunch of people and trafficking in them. Like, how does this even get started? Like, okay, say you're an agent, right? Because you used to be an agent. If you're an agent, how would you get this started? Do you have to go to your superior? Do you have to, like, kind of get other people on board with this? Because I can't imagine a judge is just like, you have a thought and then you just write it up and a judge just listens to it immediately. Who would you have to talk to get, because it got to be an investigation of some sorts before this even starts, right?
Yeah. So, okay. So I could take you, there's many ways that this could begin, but I can give you a typical scenario of how it'll happen, right?
Okay.
So you'll be sitting there, right? And you'll get a tip, right? Like the duty agent, right? So there's something called a duty agent. And the duty agent is the guy that's on call that day. So it can be very easy where like someone will call in a tip, hey, I got this information, blah, blah, blah. It gets fielded to the duty agent. Now, if nobody already has the open case on Diddy, the duty agent is responsible for either A, taking that case or delegating it to the proper group. Now, this is the LA field office, right? And guys, I'm going to give you a lot of detail here, so bear with me. So this is the LA field office. I know they have a human trafficking group and they have a human smuggling group. So more than likely what happened was if it came from a source and there wasn't already an open case on Diddy, it got routed through the duty agent to this human trafficking group. Whoever was on duty for the human trafficking group that day, right, because there's a general duty agent and a human trafficking agent, right, will take the case. So they get the case, they get the information. They meet with the source. The source says, hey, I got this information, XYZ. The agent verifies it. What information do you have? Oh, I got toll records. I was in the house. I got these pictures, blah, 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 right?
Wow.
So the agent, looking at the information, will then decide, okay, I'm going to open up an actual formal investigation. They open up a case. They generate a case number. Once they generate a case number, they put in that initial report of investigation, right, or ROI. Then, then they go to their supervisor. Hey, I got this information. I think it's good. Here's the source. Sometimes the supervisor will want to meet with the source and you debrief them together. Something like this, they probably debrief the source multiple times, or they have multiple sources, right? And I can see right now, I'm watching your video, that this is all HSI. So
Circle too
100% they
big.
ran this thing, which is I expect, because HSI actually does human trafficking. But anyway, they get that information from the source. Then they call the AUSA's office. Hey, I got this information. We have reason to believe that Diddy's involved in some sex trafficking, blah, blah, blah. Here's my information. AUSA goes through it. Okay, good. Write up an affidavit. That agent writes up an affidavit. AUSA goes through it. AUSA pushes up his chain now. He pushes up all the way to United States Attorney for the District of Los Angeles, right? Or the Central District of California is probably going to be, or Southern District of California, depending on where LA falls. I think it's either Central or Southern District California. Either way, that Assistant United States Attorney pushes that affidavit up all the way to the USA. That's a presidentially appointed position. They approve it. They say, all right, it's good to go. It's been through multiple layers.
Wait, hold on. So So you're saying all this has to happen before what we're watching?
Yes.
You see that? So now you know how it works, right? Make sure you're out there making the right moves. You treating life the way you want life to treat you, all right? Because if not, life will start lifing. Hey, if you stuck to this part of the video, you already know what to do, huh? Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Definitely consider doing so. And also hit the notification bell. Hey, listen, man. I'm going to say like this. I'm going to reserve my judgment because I really don't know the whole logistics of what's going on right now. We just got bits and pieces.